Dennis. It's going to be Jules or bust there for him. He goes second quickest, fastest overall in the third sector. Personal best in the remainder of the lap. Pressure was on for Dennis, and he managed to deliver right when it counted. So, qualifying Group A classification there. Nick Cassidy, Jake Dennis, Sebastian Buemi, Sam Bird make it through into the Jules. Dan Tickton, Jean-Eric Byrne, Rene Rast, Sergio Sette-Camera, Lucas de Grassi, Jake Hughes and Robin Fries will go no further here this afternoon ahead of round 16. Yeah, let's see what the rest of the drivers are going to be able to do. Pascal Wehrlein aiming to the line, goes fifth quickest, but just misses out on the Jules then. Maxi Günther, can he improve in the Maserati? He can, but it's only eighth for him at the end of the session. Evans goes across the line and improves in time by a few tenths of a second to stay quickest. And it looks like we're going to have Mitch Evans, Nico Müller, Norman Nato, and then Stoffel van Dorn as the four drivers who make it through into the Jules. What a drive, especially from Nico Müller. Four groups of two drivers apiece. Buemi and Dennis in the first one. Then we're going to have Sam Bird versus Nick Cassidy, Norman Nato versus Nico Müller, Stoffel van Dorn versus Mitch Evans. We can see that we've had Dennis versus Buemi once earlier this year, and that was Dennis who emerged on top. Now Jake Dennis in qualifying here. Dennis is catching in the middle sector. He's gone pretty well there as Buemi comes to the timing line. It's going to be a 1:10.604, so pretty good comparative to the fully dry times that we had earlier on. Dennis is really on top of Sebastian Buemi as he comes in towards turn 20. Are we going to see an upset here as Dennis comes to break the beam? It's going to be mightily close, but Dennis does it by 18 thousandths of a second. He knocks out Sebastian Buemi just when you thought it was all over. Straight on to the second of our quarterfinals. Sam Bird versus Nick Cassidy. Yeah, let's see what Bird does then. 1:10.519, so that's the quickest time we've seen in qualifying so far in terms of the Jules. What about Nick Cassidy? Is his answer going to be faster than that? He's 3/10 of a second ahead of Sam Bird as he comes into the final couple of corners. Let's see whether it's going to be faster than Bird at the checkered flag. It is. It's a 1:10.228. So Nick Cassidy progresses forwards. So we move on to the third of the quarter-final Jules. Norman Nato versus Nico Müller. Team there might cost him a tenth of a second or two as he comes to the timing line. What is Norman Nato's time going to be? It's a 1:10.493. Is Müller going to have an answer in the App Cupra? I don't think he is. He closes the deficit down, but it is going to be Norman Nato that moves forwards into the semi-finals here for Nissan. Over to the fourth of our quarterfinals, the final of the quarterfinals, if you will. DS Penske's Stoffel van Dorn, the outgoing champion, versus Mitch Evans. Wow. As he aims for the timing line, what's it going to be as the checkered flag comes out? It's a 1:10.376 for the Belgian driver. Evans going to be able to do it. He is by 2.39 tenths of a second. So it is Mitch Evans who progresses forwards into the semi-finals. So in the semi-finals, we'll have Dennis versus Cassidy, Nato versus Evans. Really impressive lap time that from Stoffel van Dorn. That car, despite the fact that it was dancing around all over the place for the majority of the lap, he managed to wrestle out a really strong performance.
Yeah, top extra.
Time for the semi-final Jules then. Jake Dennis versus Nick Cassidy up first. And through turn 20, Cassidy with the advantage though, but is it going to be enough to hold it? Cassidy goes with a 1:10.5 and Dennis with a 1:10.7, so it's Nick Cassidy and Envision that progress forwards into the final, right, semi-final two then. Norman Nato versus Mitch Evans, and unsurprisingly, given the fact that Mitch Evans has been on top form here and actually set the pole position time here yesterday, Norman Nato to the timing line, then a 1:10.514 for him. Mitch Evans increasing that advantage to nearly 4/10 of a second as he heads into the final couple of corners. Surely, unless anything goes tragically wrong through 20, which it doesn't for Mitch Evans, it's going to be a progression forwards to the finals for the Kiwi, and it is. So it's Cassidy versus Evans once again in 2023. And delight for Jaguar then as Evans makes it through. So quarterfinals, we saw Dennis, Cassidy, Nato and Evans going through. From the semis, Cassidy and Evans then go for an all-Kiwi showdown ahead of the final round of the ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. In terms of the head-to-heads, absolutely nothing to split them. In terms of the predictor votes, however, a little bit different. 76% of you are banking on Mitch Evans. He comes over the rise and Cassidy now ahead of Mitch Evans, but can Evans claw it back in the second sector as Cassidy comes through turn 19 and turn 20. Evans closing the deficit down. It's going to be a 1:10. flat for Nick Cassidy as Mitch Evans through into the final sector, through 17, over the rise, in towards 19 and 20 then. Can Mitch Evans overhaul Nick Cassidy and take 3 points and the lead of the team's championship out of the final corner? Across the line, the checkered flag is out, and he can't do it. Nick Cassidy does it by just 10,000ths of a second over Mitch Evans. It's Envision Racing on pole position and into the lead of the team's championship ahead of the final race of 2023.